And then I think, okay, there we go. So he should be able to join from this link. Okay. And then we're going to do this again. I'm going to try to do, what? No. Oh my gosh. Let me see if we can join this link again, because this is crazy, man. This is crazy. This don't make no sense. Really don't. This is weird. It's saying anybody can join the live. Anyone with this link can join. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna test something. I'm gonna test something. Except there we go. Finally. Finally. There we go. So now I think, yeah, there we go. It's recording live. So finally, I'm glad that it's working, brother Andre. Sorry about all them technical hiccups.
Yeah,
So my
you
first,
probably have to read. You probably have to read the comments to me because I can't see them. If anybody comment.
okay. So my first question that I want to ask you, there we go, is what got you into the zombie genre in the first place?
Uh, always liked zombies as a kid. I always found it, fascinating. So I said, hey, um, let me turn it into a video game, and then my team was like, hey, let's turn it into a comic first. So that's what I did. I always like zombies because it just like it's a like an obstacle to make the whole world like bond together. So that's what I like about Apocalypse.
That makes sense because a lot of the world do need to come together. To be honest with you, because that's why we're having so many problems. Um, and number two,
Yeah,
I'm gonna wait. I'll be patient. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say? I'm gonna let you finish what you were saying. What are you gonna say? You're
no,
about
I
to
was
say
just gonna
something.
say just like how I just gonna say just like how the pandemic is, it can actually go a whole lot better if the world decides to work together.
I agree with you, bro. I agree with you because it's getting really crazy with this whole pandemic thing, and they're talking about this another strand in California and in certain places coming out. So it's about to be another point where we get stuck in the house, unfortunately, again. So,
Well, that leaves more
yeah.
time to write.
Yeah, it do. Yes, it does. That is true. And whatever creative thing you want to do. Yeah.
Yep.
Um. Well, you kind of said answered it a little bit, but I'm still gonna ask. What inspired you to make your comic book?
Mm. I just like I said, I wanted to turn it into a game, but it was like, hey, let's do a comic at first. So turn it into a comic first, and use the profits from the comics to make the game.
That makes total sense. That's what a lot of these comic companies are doing, especially the major ones. They did exactly what you said. They just made their comics first, and then they made the game later down the line, or games later down the line.
It
Um,
makes sense. Let your work pay for your work.
that's true. Let your money make you money. Yeah. Um, and then I mean, you already kind of said this, but Did the current COVID-19 situation inspire your comic in any way?
Uh, it it did, but then it didn't. I just decided to say, hey, what's the best way to infect basically the entire world without using the same played out method what every other zombie apocalypse do, where they say, hey, the virus is ever in your body and you just have to die to awaken it. So I was like, hey, let somebody spread a disease and then let the vaccine be the trigger. But it's actually not really a vaccine. It's just like them trying to cover up their plot of what they're doing, but it's actually a revenge game.
That's a lot better. That's like a lot. That's different. I mean, Resident Evil kind of went in that direction, but not all the way. Because, like you said, they just released the virus and people died and became zombies. It wasn't like they had to use something else, like you said, to activate it. So that sounds like a cooler concept, anyway.
What you do is you watch movies and you get inspired by them, but then you have to put your own spin on them to actually get perfection.
That is true because I was having something that like when I just look at comics in general, like they actually outright in one comic they had a character that looked like Nick Fury. No, Nick Fury looked like Samuel L. Jackson, right? And then they said they did that on purpose so they could get him to star in their movie. And it was like a legal issue because he didn't ask them to do that, but they ended up getting him into the movie. That was good for them.
Well, take gambles.
But what do you say again? Because I
I
didn't hear
said
what you
sometimes
said.
you have to gamble.
Yeah, you do. You got to take risks. You have to take a lot of risks sometimes. Um, and then since we're talking about Resident Evil, did you ever play Resident Evil, or if not, what other zombie games have you played?
Uh, Resident Evil, Dead Target 1, Dead Target 2, uh, Left 4 Dead. And there's a few other zombie games I have on my phone. But like my biggest zombie inspiration is The Walking Dead.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't watch. I don't watch that show really because I'm not into horror, but they got some pretty good storylines.
Yeah. And look at it. Look where they started. They started from comics and now they have movies.
That's true. Movies, games, and like you said, they did exactly what you said in the beginning to fund, make their own project fund them.
Yeah.
Right, right. When will your comic book be coming out?
If all goes well, I plan to release it in October, but I also looking to start a Kickstarter sometime next month. They're just trying to do a few pages first so I can start the Kickstarter.
Okay, that'll be good. That'll be good because October is definitely like the kind of fright season because Halloween and everything is coming, and they usually like promoting horror stuff all that month.
Yeah, so that's why I picked that month because I know it's about horror.
Yeah. And then I have to ask, like, what do you enjoy about the comic book genre from, comic books that you've read?
Well, to be honest, I haven't read that much. I just really started reading it after I got inspired to write a comic. But I like the storytelling and the art.
Okay, that makes sense. Because that's what people put me in, like, with most comics. Like, your design on your thing is really, that's a really nice design. Especially, and then it's actually really inspirational because of the current climate and like the CDC and them are talking about, they have updated their zombie attack page. They're trying to prepare for a zombie attack or whatever. So like your comic is kind of really it's modern time. I'm gonna say that. Like it's something that you probably weren't expecting to be like that, but it relates directly to what they're trying to do right now.
Yeah, and to be fair, I actually had this game idea like 3 to 4 years before the pandemic. It's just that the funding to actually create a video game, so is why I never did it.
Hmm. Well, I pray you get to create your video game in the future. Like you could definitely start off with like a 2D game because like one brother who also makes his comic Impound Comics, he got a little mobile game right now. It's not that like high graphics, but it's decent. It's something to like kind of let the time pass by. Um, and like a lot of people like it nowadays.
Yeah, but I actually know somebody that who does 3D graphic design. So when it comes to the video game, he'll be doing that, and then also we have a little short small series like 5 minutes an episode where we show you certain things happening in the comic, but you'd actually get to see it like the character moving and stuff. So that'd be like short, sort of like a little series to show you like what's to come in this book, what's going to be in the next book, like to really give you a feel of because you're watching the character move in the comic in the panels, but when you actually watch it as a video, it's going to be more dope.
I see what you're saying because that's kind of what the approach that Black Sands kind of took. Like they actually did what you said, and what you're gonna do, where they animated their whole entire each issue, and then they just told it in 13 or however many minutes it took them to read it. I don't know exactly how they did it. I really don't. It just looks kind of good though. And then I have to ask. I mean, have you watched any anime or any animes, no matter which one you watched.
Well, to be honest, the only anime I used to watch is Naruto.
Is what?
Naruto.
Oh, Naruto. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's yeah. Yep. That's a good anime to watch. Um, but I heard from somebody yesterday. It was like his story right might not be so great. Which I could see that because he had underdevelopment in his characters. I mean, that's what I like about people like you and all the black comic creators. Like y'all are making stories where the character development and the story makes sense. Ain't no, mystical magical stuff where, people magically, get saved and all that.
Um, what Naruto, what I believe the creators of Naruto did was they wanted to build the character development as the character grows, so it could be a more relatable character.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And then I know I didn't make a part 5 yet, but I know you were talking about that your main guy is actually going to be a super soldier.
Yep, he's going to be a super soldier because what we're doing is we're allowing the fake vaccine to which is the zombie trigger. We're allowing it to be more of a like that's why you're gonna have different type of zombies because they're gonna have different attributes, different strengths, different powers. So you know to make them harder to kill and not so easy to kill. So I'm gonna have something by the fourth issue, but I'm gonna give a little sneak peek in the first issue of what a meta zombie is gonna look like.
Okay, that sounds good. What is the I mean, what I know you can't tell everything, so I'm not gonna ask about what is the meta zombie. So I'm gonna just leave that for another time.
Well, you could ask the meta zombie is basically they they basically don't look zombie. They just have like the eye colors, and then they attribute everything that they know from. Let's say they was a special soldier, a special forces soldier in the military. They remember all that training, so they'll be able to shoot guns, throw grenades, plan attacks from a tactical advantage. So it's basically like you're facing a human, but you're actually facing a zombie who's gonna rip you to pieces, but do it in a way where most people won't be able to defend it.
Mm, wow, that's good and that's scary
Because think
too.
about it, you because think about
Right.
it, like they're zombies, so you can't shoot them above the body. They ain't gonna drop. You gotta hit them in the head, and not everybody could make perfect headshots. So imagine how much damage they're gonna do before people could actually take them down.
A lot, a
Yeah.
lot. And unless, like you say, you have your super soldier dude.
Yeah. So basically what happens is I'm going to show that part in the second issue, but what happens is, but in the first issue you're going to see some of the super soldier side, but in the second issue I'm going to show how it happened, and I'm going to explain what happened. But basically is they had a scientist on base, and the scientist picked him because he was already immune. You know, he heard about this zombie thing that was coming on the black market. So he bought a valve of that and he mixed it with his super soldier serum. So that's what's gonna make my soldier above others. And then plus two, the serum heightens everything that's already there. So because he was already a strong and above soldier, it's gonna make him even stronger. And then because he has a bit of the zombie thing in him, but he is actually immune to it because see, the scientist used to work for a corporation that made vaccines, but the corporation got canceled because a lot of the vaccines um, left negative side effects. It didn't turn people into zombies, but it left some people crippled who it didn't take to. It killed. So that got canceled. But the military hired him because they wanted him to make soldiers better. So they hired him in their program, and the program is called Project Wolf. So look to him for that. That's why my character have a red wolf on his pot because that's what his daddy used to wear. And I'm also doing a comic about before the apocalypse happened about his dad, the relationship him and his dad had because his daddy was a 5-star general when he died. So I'll let you see the
Wow,
training that he went through as a kid and all that stuff. And so you could get more relation to his human side and not just his super soldier side. Because
wow.
his super soldier side, he's so strong he could run you into a building and make the building collapse. Like that's how much force he's delivering. When if he taps into his side, he runs so fast that you can't hit him with bullets and he will collapse the ground beneath him. How fast he'll be running. Yeah. So he isn't a regular, just a old regular super soldier.
He's on Incredible Hulk level, bro. Like for real, that's
Yeah,
a Incredible Hulk
but see the
level,
thing,
bro.
but see the thing about him, what makes him different is his size doesn't change. He stays human. He just has a lot of power.
Well, that's smarter because, like, I admit the disadvantage of the Hulk thing is that, like, he got to get stressed out and he got to morph into it. I'm like, if you just stay the human form and you can, like, don't have to do all of that, that's better for you. So you don't have to get shot and all that stuff.
But then look at it like this: if you could just stay the human size, you become more of a threat because you could blend into to the surroundings. So like if you like in a fight and people running after you, you could just like camouflage and like change your clothes and run into different backgrounds and they won't even see you because why? You dress like everybody else.
That's smart. That's really smart, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, um, the rest of the issues are gonna be about him finding out what really, the revenge game, and he's gonna basically, it's gonna show him like hunting down the person that started the apocalypse, but also it's mainly about him getting to his wife and his kids, what are in the Bahamas. So it's gonna be by the third issue you're gonna see a different scenery. So it's gonna go from the U.S. theme to the Bahamas theme.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yes, where I have I'm going to introduce different zombies, because of different climates, different zombies.
Smart. It's almost like Pokemon, but if Pokemon was zombies though. That's cool.
Yeah, like I told you, you gotta think outside the box if you want greatness.
That's
You
true.
know. So I was like, hey, if all these zombies are gonna be like that, and then what I'm doing is I'm gonna let the biochemist create um super soldier zombies. So when he goes up against them, he's gonna have more of a unique challenge.
That's
And
gonna
the
be
super
real.
soldier that the scientist created, that my soldier took, he doesn't have to go on ice to preserve his youth, because the scientists developed these nanos that basically, if a it slows down aging, like that, because it anything before the cell even gets time to be destroyed, it's prepared.
Whoa, bro.
Yeah,
That
so
um
his a- his, his agent is gonna be like in years to come, where let's say do 10 years into the apocalypse, he's still gonna look 26.
wow. So kind of like Blade, but like a lot better because at least you don't have to worry about having to resist some temptation. I don't think so. Like, cause Blade
Nah,
got to work, so
he
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 don't.
don't he don't have no temptations. The only weakness
Oh
that
my
he has
bad.
is the only weakness that he has is if he loses control. If he loses control, he'll probably kill anything in his path.
Oh, so he got a kind of Superman situation. He got to keep his stuff under control, or that ain't gonna end well.
Yeah, that's all he
That
has to do. Once he keep it under control, he'll be okay. But he
he's
has
gonna
no
have.
other weakness but that.
Mm. Well, that's good.
Yeah, so
That's good.
he could survive. He could survive shotgun wounds to the chest and heal from that like in minutes. Because like I tell you, the nano's always repairing.
So it'd be good to put him versus I know you might not, but versus Deadshot because they have the same thing with the nanobots repairing their body. But of course Bloodshot has a limit. Your dude doesn't have a limit on his nanobots. So Bloodshot would be
No,
in trouble.
yeah, because think about it like this: the nanobots don't get time to actually have a limit because they always repairing. So when they get, you know, like they're getting fatigued, another nanobot come and repair them. So that leaves no time for a limit. Because when that nano is at 50, the one that's on 100, what isn't really doing anything, would come and push him back to 100 and then just go back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. Did you study some science? Cause like that sounds like some cool science, bro.
Uh, well, like you said, I watched Bloodshot and I was very impressed by it. And I said, hey, if I can do something in a different sense, why not do it? So I just watching like a lot of movies to get references and then just making, making little tweaks to it to make it my own, you know.
That's a really good thing,
But
bro.
there will be a lot of people getting turned. Do know that there's gonna be a lot of blood.
Yeah, it's apocalypse, man. So I kind of expected that. I already know it's gonna be like I seen on some comic panels where people like getting some Mortal Kombat stuff where they getting ripped apart and slaughtered at, and it's gonna be crazy. I can already tell.
Yeah,
I have
and
to look at
everybody
during
can
the
know
day.
that. There will be t-shirts on sale before the comic release to help really pay for the comic. So uh, you can just let us know what character you want on the shirt, and we'll do it.
Wow, that sounds good. I would buy this shirt right now if I if I had the money in the moment, but I will. I will though. But that's good. Like you already got a whole plan mapped out. Like I think your comic gonna end up being a really big hit. Feel like it
Yeah,
will be.
yeah. Because see, what I did was there's a guy called Brian Ball. Him and his team wrote. I don't know if you heard about the comic Rags. I think they're up to like 5, 6 issues now. The seventh issue didn't release yet, but
Rags.
basically, Rags is a zombie apocalypse comic.
Oh,
Yeah. So what he did was is he has a Patreon, and I'm thinking about starting a Patreon where only investors and people that want to donate money can get like we'll see certain art before it's actually released. So it'll be locked to everybody else. But once you pay a subscription, I think of $5 a month, you'll get them for free, and you can download them and turn them into posters, whatever you decide to do with it.
that sounds really good, bro. That's smart. Like that's what. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really good.
yeah. So what I'm doing too is with investors for my Kickstarter, I'm also incorporating them in I think either the second or the third issue. So if you invest a certain amount, you can send me a character and I'll incorporate you into a book like for like 2 to 3 pages.
Yep. I was just looking at the so I was looking at the comic book rags that you was talking about. It looks kind of bloody. I ain't even saw a few images of it. Oh wait, you still there? I don't know. I might have let. I hope I didn't let you up. Ah, come on. No, don't do this right now. Like we literally. Oh man. Facebook is doing it. Dang, I think I disconnected from the live. Yeah. Okay. There we go. He's back. He's back. Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So you asking a question?
Yeah, I was saying I was look. I apologize. I was looking at the comic book. I was looking at Rags, the comic book you were just talking about. I saw a few images. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. His story is also of a soldier. The woman, she's a marine.
Mm, wow.
Yeah.
Did you see? It's a Scooby Doo apocalypse comic book. Part of the apocalypse is Velma's fault because, like you were talking about the nanobots. They use nanobots. They turn people into like actual monsters because of nanobots, and it was kind of crazy.
Yeah. I didn't read it, but I watched it and I saw like I was watching someone read it on a reaction video, and it was pretty cool because nobody was the same creature. Everybody was something different.
Yeah. I have to ask you a
I really
question though.
like how I didn't like how they killed Freddy off in the comic.
What? They killed Freddy? Why would they do that? Why?
They
I
killed him
guess
off
to make
and
it
they
more.
killed him off and they brought him back. They killed him off, right? And they brought him back as a like a zombie, and he basically was still helping Velma them with the apocalypse, and then Freddy, and then um, Shaggy, Shaggy and Velma end up dating, and they had a kid, and they named their son Freddy.
So basically, Freddy died, became a zombie. He was still like a conscious zombie, and then basically,
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy. At least it had a kind of good ending. I don't know if they ended the apocalypse or not, but at least it had a good ending, I guess.
yeah, it did. But you say you had a question?
Yeah. Let me. Excuse me. Hold on. Give me a sec. Well, I mean, I asked you a lot. You revealed a lot of information about your comic book and your Patreon and things that's to come. Um. Oh yeah. Your social medias. Yeah. What's your social medias so I can type that in the chat. Let me type this in the chat.
IG is Andre Dorsett. Snapchat is Andre Dorsett, and that's basically all I have for social
Social
media
media
right
so I
now.
can. Okay, so Andre Dorsett. Dorsett. All right, so let me go back and look it up so I can get it right. Okay, now I'm gonna type it in the chat. Okay, so this is Instagram Andre dot Dorsett. Okay, and I'm gonna put Instagram. Instagram. Okay, that's your Instagram. And then I just got to get your Snapchat. Give me a picture of that. Okay, go back. And then Snapchat, Andre Dorsett. Okay. And then your Facebook is the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Let me ask. Do you have a website coming? Yeah, let me
Yeah,
check.
I'm making one.
Okay, good. Good. Then I could definitely, once you make it, definitely put that, you know, if when we do an interview again or just in general, promote your website. Yeah, so it was a really good conversation, and I mean, you have a lot of plans for your comic book, and you have a roadmap already planned out. You have it, it's really good. I think your comic literally will be a hit once it releases. God willing.
Yeah, and I'm mostly selling it online, but I'm doing like prints if people want to buy prints.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing because some people still like to buy prints. Most people buy digital, but like some people still like I gotta have a print copy. So I understand. Cause like I like the prints because like them designs on it be like really nice.
Yeah, the prints. I'll do the print for like probably let's say $15. But if you want to sign but I'll have signed copies too, and they'll be for like 20.
That's a good price point. And then how much for your digital?
Huh?
I said how much for the digital version?
Oh, digital would be $8.
Okay, cool. Cool. Well, I had fun interviewing you. I know you got some other things that you got to do, and I really did. I had fun, and I really enjoyed it. And I might start like doing some. I got these versus groups. I might start doing some verses with your character, like versus Captain America, the Incredible Hulk, just different other people. Just for fun.
Okay, that's no problem. I like to see how you do against Cap.
He will. I feel bad for Cap, but like he will win against Cap because even though Cap can get pretty strong when he gets angry, he doesn't get as strong as like the Hulk or someone like that. So he got his limits, as you see. Like he really has some limitations, and part of it is because he didn't like the only thing left for him is he could get like Gamma in his system, and then that could turn. And they've shown that where he could turn into a Hulk, but he wouldn't want that because that would just
No,
not be Captain America style.
no.
And it'd be weird having two Hulks. Now you got a Hulk Captain America and a Hulk. Like I'm good, bro, because they let General Thaddeus Ross get away with that. I was like, why did they let this man get away with becoming a Hulk? He just was trying to kill him. Now he want to become him. I'm like, no.
But my two favorite super soldiers would be Captain America and Bucky, the Winter Soldier.
I can that. Yeah, that's a good pair, bro. That's a good pair. That's pretty much like I know he's not Super Soldier, but like one of my favorite pairs is Falcon, and of course I like Miles Morales as well. Like I could put like that would be like one of my favorites, but my most
No,
favorite character
Falcon,
has to be Luke.
Luke Cage.
Oh yeah, that's a good combination, bro. That's a good combination. What I like about Falcon in the comic books is he actually has superpower, unlike in the movie, because like in the actual comic book he got in some of the cartoons he got programmed by Red Skull and he got the power to communicate with his bird, and I think the wings that he has are like literal wings. It's not like it might have been a suit. No, I think it was just a suit, but he did have like mental telepathy powers because of Red Skull.
But if you read the comic book good, I was actually reading the comic books good, and I actually found out that Red. If you didn't know, Red Skull in the comic books is actually Captain America's son.
What? Oh my
Yeah,
god, what? That's crazy.
yeah. Because I was watching it, and they was like, I was watching somebody read it, and they was like, um, Captain America had a son who later on became the Red Skull. And I was like, what? I was like,
that's
shit.
that's crazy. That's
Because
crazy.
actually, inside the movie, they didn't did it like that. They did it where the Red Skull was a particular person, and he created a super soldier serum, but his serum wasn't perfect, and it basically burned his face off.
Yeah, that was painful. I mean, even though I got super strength, I don't want to be permanently stuck on my face with the flesh out forever.
Nope. I don't think nobody wants that.
I don't think so.
Nobody
But
wants that at all.
don't care. They like give me some power. I don't
Yeah.
care what sacrifice.
Well, you got some people who are like that.
But I know I do because
Once they
I'm a
get
little
the power,
pain.
once they get the power, that's all they want.
Unfortunately, yeah. And it's like you
But
got to
I,
be like,
but I,
you what?
I said, but I'd rather be Captain America, to have the power with no side effects.
Yeah, same thing. I don't want side effects. Like that's why, like in My Hero, like I know you probably haven't seen that. In that one, I don't want none of these superpowers. To be honest with you, most of them I don't because they always have a drawback, and I'm like I'm not cool with that. because the main character.
Captain America, if you didn't know why there wasn't any more super soldier serum like Captain America's on, was because the person who created the super serum for Captain America, he got killed, and then there was only one valve left, and they destroyed it.
Yeah, I saw they showed that perfectly in the movie, and like you said, yeah. And then Bruce Banner almost made it, but like he messed up a little bit. Okay, a
Became
lot.
and became the Hulk.
But you want to know why? Okay, this is even worse. And then I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Like, so we found out in the original Sin storyline comic, Bruce Banner becoming the Hulk was all his fault. So the bomb when it went off, before it went off, and Tony Stark came in and was drunk, and he told him that, and he was analyzing. He was like, bro, like all them the protected plating you're putting on that bomb is actually can cause transformative properties if that bomb explodes, right? Bruce Banner did not listen. And when the whole entire, you know how it went, like he tried to save Rick Jones and he threw Rick Jones to the ditch and he got hit by it. It was his fault that he became the Hulk. And Tony Stark never told him that because you already know, like, Bruce Banner got hate issues. Like, he would hate himself even more after that. I don't know what would happen after he found that out. I don't.
But
I'll
look
be
at it
there.
on the bad side. It was his fault, but it still ended up turning out good for him because the Hulk is an amazing superhero.
That is true, bro. That is true. That is true. That you're right. It did
And
turn
guess
out good.
what? The Avengers wouldn't be able to do certain things without the Hulk either. Because
Yeah,
like you say, Captain America is strong, but he isn't as strong as the Hulk. So when you need somebody who's as strong as the Hulk, nobody's gonna cut it.
right. Other than Thor, depending on, I hate how they do it. Depending on which Thor it is, like Thor be, I'm like, this man be versing guys way stronger than all of them. But I'm like, whenever he be facing certain people, they be making him like super weak. I don't, I don't understand that, bro. I really don't. Like, he not that weak.
Um, but what I think happens is I think Thor is strong in his own dimension.
Yeah. That's one thing, but like I said, it depends on the writers too, because like one Thor was able to move like a planet and all of that, and then some iterations are able to do that. And like in Infinity War, that Thor that we saw was the most powerful Thor in the MCU. He could have, of course, like if he had the verse of
I find
Avengers,
out outside
he
of
could
this,
have.
that's yeah.
Sorry, he could have destroyed most of the Avengers except for Captain Marvel. Like that's the only person he wouldn't have been able to get rid of. I'm talking about Infinity War Thor. Like at the end with that hammer, he could have defeated everybody except for Captain Marvel. Like Captain Marvel was just busted. Seriously, it's too busted. But she's not that busted compared to the other woman. Do you know about Monica Rambeau slash Spectrum, the black? Like she's like the black version of Captain Marvel, but she isn't Captain Marvel. So that's why they changed her name. So she can turn into different forms of radiation, which Captain Marvel can't do that.
Wow, I did not
Yeah.
know that.
And she tried to join the Avengers too, and it was during the exploitation movement, so like the '70s, and the Avengers started in like the early '60s. So she came in like the '70s, and then she tried to be on the Avengers, but you know what happened? Racism, all that stuff. She was like, I'm out, I'm done. She tried to be a part of the Avengers, but it was just, it was some, all the stuff that they put in comics with black people, unfortunately.
I mean, that's a relatable thing because it's happening in the world. So
Yeah. I mean, you got to make your comic book characters relatable because, like, one they made 100% relatable was Blue Marvel, which you may have heard of him. So he has antimatter powers, and he got married, right? And you would think, oh, his wife is his wife. That woman was a CIA agent, bro. And he was there. She was there to watch him and make sure that he didn't do anything, even though he was helping the government. And he was doing things that, like, he was helping the government, but they, of course, just like normal, didn't trust him. You know how that go. It don't matter how much you do right. This man was lifting trains for them that was about to explode and stuff, and I'm like, they still was like, I don't trust him. He's too strong. He might rebel against the government. I'm like, bro, give me a break, man.
They always want to help, but then they're still afraid of you.
Right,
Because
and I'm not.
they showed that in Civil War where Captain America had to tell them, hey, things get a little dangerous, but the best hands is still our hands because at the end of the day, you know, we can't stop the damage, but what we could do is minimize it.
Right, even when they did the whole initiative, where they was releasing superheroes, like you said, Iron Man and them caused more damage than Captain America and them did. Like they really did.
Yeah, because Iron Man was really trying to, make a point. Captain America just was trying to save the world. That was it.
Yeah, but Tony Stark was had this whole, he wants to make up for his mistakes, which I understand, but he took it. How can I put it? He took it way too far, in my opinion. Like sometimes he just went too far because he created Ultron to quote unquote protect the world. Um, and it was, and of course, in the beginning, he was making weapons. And then like he tried to change that around, but in the end, he still ended up making weapons. Ultimately, like he really, even though he tried not to be that guy no more, he basically made weapons of mass destruction without even trying to. Um, and then he thought nobody could replicate it, and nope, he was wrong on that. That's why I like Iron Man 2 the most. What is it?
Okay, that's something new.
Yeah. Turn back up a little bit. But who's your favorite comic book character from Marvel and DC? Like your most favorite?
Definitely. Like Captain America, Spider Man, and the Flash. And Batman.
That's some pretty good favorites, bro.
Spider Man.
I could see that. Yeah. Yes. Yup. Yeah. It's like, to be honest, one of my most favorite. Okay, from Marvel. That's the Marvel one was kind of hard, bro, because it's too many. But I'm just gonna say it. I guess to be honest with you, Iron Man. For Marvel, DC. Even though I kind of don't like how they like just give him, plot armor all the time. I guess I could say Batman. To be honest with you, they give Batman too much plot armor. Like, wait, what? How did he do that again? I'm like, no. No. And then the other thing I like about Batman was that I would be a terrible Batman and a terrible Spider Man because most of the villains he could have destroyed them in one punch because he's 10 times stronger than most of the ones that got like they're human. They have a few cybernetic enhancements. They would have been gone, bro. They would have been gone. I would have been like, goodbye, Joker. Goodbye, Harley Quinn. Everybody, because they continuously trying to kill you. You keep trying to put them in prison. You see, it's not working. They're not getting any better. And then he let Joker get away with, the whole Batgirl thing, and where he shot her in the back. It's just crazy. But us enough talking about them. Excuse me. I really appreciate that you're making this comic book. And I'm glad that you were inspired to make it. I think this is gonna send a really good message out to a whole bunch of people. Um, yeah, and that's really all I have to say. And it was a fun interview. And preferably, I'll be interviewing you soon once your again once your comic comes out, or whenever we get a chance to.
Okay, looking forward to it.
All right. Well, you had brother Andre.
All right, you too.
All right.